WWE 2K26's patch 1.07 is right around the corner, and I asked you guys, what do you guys want to see fixed? And obviously, it is a crazy time right now because there's many things that need to be fixed, and this post received many comments. So a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about here today is directly from this post that was pulled. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if you guys have been enjoying the content. Let's go on ahead and get into it. Now, before we go on ahead and move into the negative, one positive that we want to go on ahead and point out, I've seen on social media that now WWE 2K26's community creations is actually enabled for Switch 2, Xbox, and PS5 the way that it was intended to be at launch. It took them a minute. They finally got it done. Now, I personally may be incentivized to hop on the Switch now and play from time to time just because the community creations last year not being on there, it kind of dwindled down the game for me just a tad bit. But now the fact that that is available and now those players are going to have tons of content to go through with community creations, I do feel that that's a good thing. Now, we obviously know that's likely not the only issue with the Switch 2 as I haven't played, but we know that that was a massive issue as that was the talk of town and something that many people were talking about. Now, while we go on ahead and talk about the negatives, on the other hand, the one thing that I saw again over and over again is the purple bar. The way that the purple bar just defines a match. And again, if you guys watch my review, I explained why I didn't like it, why I quote unquote hated it. And it's because, again, it breaks up the flow of the match too much, especially when there is already a stun meter. That is already an issue on its own, in my opinion. And that's the way I feel about that particular meter. If there is any down point in the gameplay that I have, praised so much this year because of what has been done, is the purple meter. Like, no doubt about it, right? And you can say, oh, you can just go offline and go in your sliders and switch it. No, that's not the point. The point is that a lot of these new modes, right, that we have seen over the years, such as the island, such as my faction, those modes rely on whatever gameplay default settings are in there. And when you go into my faction and you play with a low tier card, you see a purple meter rolling around, or you go into the island and you see a purple meter and then you're running into that purple meter and then you're stunned. It's just one of those things that is highly unnecessary in my opinion, and it just needs to be tuned. I'm not totally against it, but it needs to be balanced for those online players that literally have no control, or allow people that are making custom lobbies to go on ahead and turn it off, because that's another issue for me as well. We've been playing Royal Rumbles, and Royal Rumbles to me, they're unplayable. Like right now, that's the only way to get 8 players in one match because all the online matches have been removed, and that really desperately needs to come back. But I understand that it looks like they're working and fixing on certain things that were happening with those particular match types that were removed. But just to get back to the Rumble, if you run into that purple meter, there's no reversing, there's no doing none of that. And guess what? If you're stunned, there's no reversing or doing any of that as well. So there are going to be multiple opportunities throughout the match where, in my opinion, the Royal Rumble is already easy enough to eliminate somebody. You're not allowing me to defend myself or do anything. I just feel like, just looking at this purple meter again more and more, and the more that I play this game, certain things just weren't thought out, just in my opinion, and hopefully that is something that we see improve and balance, because I think that's what it desperately needs. It needs balance because it lingers around a little too long. Now, somebody has mentioned that when you're using a custom arena, the title podiums do not pop up in that custom arena. So those are basically irrelevant when you're playing in an arena that's not an original one from the game. So that's also something to go on ahead and note for those players. Hopefully that is something that is fixed. It may just be done by design. Maybe they just weren't able to figure out how to get it in a custom arena. So I'm not sure if this is a glitch. I'm not sure if this is broken. I just know that I saw this from multiple people as well, along with the side plates for the belts and the quality of the belts. The quality of the belts is actually something I've been talking about for a long time. I feel like they are very not as detailed as they should be. There are ways to go on ahead and fix it. Like if you play without side plates, the belts look like a completely different thing from what I've seen in the past. And we've seen creators go out there and get these belts looking as nice as possible. I just hate the fact that I have to go in there and use a custom WWE championship, even though it looks the same as everything else. It's just kind of OCD for me personally. I just don't like using any particular belt that's already in the game and making it a custom. But when you look at those belts, you can see that there are improvements. If only 2K can make those improvements to the actual belts, that would be dope as well. Side plates has been something that has plagued the game for years, like just people complaining and seeing these images not looking the way that they're supposed to. They're bended one way, going another way. Just again, lots of not great things when it comes to the championship belts, and that's honestly some of the stuff that needs a lot of work. Like the models this year, they look amazing. Like the new ones, I'm talking the Naomi's, the Braun Breakers, even Cody Rhodes, I think that he looks good. Ricky Starks, the sweat looks nice, but it's one of those things where that same model quality that these wrestlers are getting needs to get pushed onto these belts. So I definitely think that that is a valid complaint. Now, there is a clip going around where if you're playing with the ramp camera and you're playing a tag team match, the person on that side of the ring is basically blocking out whatever's going on that side of the ring, and that's something that definitely needs to be improved. I personally don't remember that happening so much with the ramp camera. Granted, I haven't played with the ramp camera much this year because it's one of those things where I just like the freedom of being able to swap them around and just do things like that, you know. So I haven't really played with it. I've been playing with the default camera. But when you look at this clip that we're going over, you see the wrestler just standing there and the camera just not doing anything or no movement to make sure that these wrestlers are being seen as they're wrestling and not just that inconvenience of that wrestler just standing there. So that is definitely something that needs to be improved as well in 26. Now, some people have brought up AI reversals, and that for me is one thing where AI reversals, if you're playing offline, you can definitely tweak these, you know, with the slider. So it's not something that's necessarily broken, but it's something that you are going to notice that could look a little bit overpowered if you don't like to mess with settings. Me personally, I don't mind the reversals between the AI. It gives me a bit of a harder match, and I honestly play on Legend. If you've watched my slider video, you know that. It's one of those things where we kind of have seen the community complain a lot about these reversals, especially in my faction. Like, I think if we want to have a conversation about it, my faction is definitely where that conversation should lean into, along with the my faction cooldown screens that we have been seeing. That is something that is hurting the game and the grind methods and all that. Like, the mode is already there for us to play. People are willing to engage with it, but you remove the best way to grind and you add this cooldown screen and just stuff that doesn't really sit well with the community. And hopefully we are able to see an improvement with the cooldown screen. I just think that it's unnecessary as well. People still need to go through with their time, you know, that they're taking out to play the game and grind the game however they want, regardless of this cooldown screen and whatever, you know, they think that we may be doing or those people may be doing. Because I'm not somebody that actually grinds too much through my faction, but I do understand as well that this is also something very valid that people have spoken up about as well. Now, one pet peeve, the more that I play the game, the more I realize that tables, man, no matter what you do, you can literally just blow on a table, bro, and the table's just gonna fall. And that's something that I definitely think needs to be improved. I hope that we do see an improvement for that. And again, that's more of a minor thing. I don't really have too many gameplay complaints because, again, I've praised it a lot this year. All of my matches feel different, whether I'm in an Extreme Rules, whether I'm playing in a scrapyard, whether I'm playing in a TLC ambulance match. I'm gonna continue to sit on that hill whether you guys like it or not. And I've seen a lot of videos, I've seen a lot of things involving myself where I have honestly no business being mentioned, but it comes with the territory. For me personally, this is something that I've been doing since the very beginning of my channel. My channel has always been super balanced, especially with the way that I mention and say things. Even if you go back to the first video that I made complaining about something, you're not gonna experience a fan or a player lashing out and calling people out of their names and doing things like that. It has never been that way on this channel. And it's funny that people feel the need, since now that we've gotten invited the last 2 years in a row, people feel the need to go on ahead and say that I'm doing things differently. I've always been very respectful towards 2K and everything else, but I've always had a way to just constructively criticize the game, because a lot of the stuff that people like to do nowadays is just sit around and complain and call the game trash and call the devs out their names, but they don't give them a way to actually work on the game and maybe find a solution towards it. That's just my 2 cents, and I just needed to go on ahead and put that out there because it has been something that doesn't necessarily bother me, but I don't like my name, you know, being involved in certain things that I just truly feel I got no business being involved in the first place. And just to switch gears before we go on ahead and get out of here, let's talk about the MyRise, man. This has been a topic that I've seen many people talking about on the timeline and the way that they feel about it. And I gotta agree with the general consensus. I think that in terms of an experience with this mode, it's just not the best mode this year. It's honestly very far from it. Last year, we saw them take massive steps forward with the MyRise. I felt that the story was solid. It was engaging. I just really disliked having to play it multiple times. But this year just feels like you're sitting around in MyRise just progressing through 5-star matches in the Performance Center to going ahead and progress through the actual story. It just feels very uninspiring, in my opinion. Like, just even looking at the way the mode just plays this year, it just feels like a lot of the resources that were once used for MyRise were used for the island. Because if you go on the island, you'll see that there's a lot of nice voiceover acting, a lot of nice cutscenes, and there's just a lot going on to really incentivize you to get on that mode. But when you play MyRise, it's like, where did we go wrong here? And that's where I'm personally at with the MyRise. It's something that I've only been able to play once, and I don't really even care to play again with the women's side or even play the heel side. I was able to get through the face side, but it just felt like there was a lack of just inspiration within the mode this year. A lot of the MyRise feels like they threw in Rise matches in there to take up place and just add this quote unquote content to the mode, which made the mode feel just not very good, in my opinion. And that's where I stand on that. If you guys look at my review, I mentioned that I didn't get all the way through MyRise, but it so far did not feel like it was better than 25 at that point. I was completely right. I don't even think this is better than anything that has been put out in the past 4 years, to be completely honest, since the 2K22 refresh. That's just where I stand with the whole MyRise situation, man. And I thought that it was definitely worth talking about, because it is an issue of its own that I feel that people are talking about, but the attention is not going towards that, because obviously we have bigger problems such as the ringside pass universe mode being broken and just tons of things that are not working as intended at the moment. But I felt that it was, I guess, right in this video to sprinkle that in here. All in all, man, we obviously know that there are a lot of issues, and this is a video where I wanted to go on ahead and highlight a lot of just the issues and the main points. There's obviously more, but I do want to make it clear. We've talked about the ringside pass. We've talked about universe mode already. Like, those are two videos on its own that we've already talked about. So I've really wanted to dial in and really bring in the main focus to a lot of the just glitches in general throughout different modes and gameplay that we may be seeing, and just talk about it. So let me know how you guys feel down below about everything thus far. Are you guys looking forward to patch 1.07? Are you guys out? Have you guys refunded? Because I've seen that go around a lot. Let me know down below. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. You guys have been enjoying the content. I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.